All right, good morning. We're coming into Sukhasana, pose of ease. If the hips are tight, we'll take some elevation back there, maybe a folded blanket or a pillow to lift the hips so they don't grip. We want to pull those sitting bones back on a diagonal, broadening the pelvic floor, bringing it out to neutral so that we can connect our breath to the pelvic floor and center the spine. Get the feet where they're comfortable, one in front of the groin, the other in front of the other foot. And just rock gently right to left a couple times, putting down those trail markers of the sitting bones and bringing your awareness to center the spine between the sitting bones to the right and left. And centering the spine between the pubis bone and the tailbone, front to back. So the pelvic floor forms a diamond or like a kite-like shape. The sitting bones drawn out at the sides and the pubis and the coccyx at the front and back. And just visualize that and work as you breathe here to settle into center. And if we could just bring our awareness into center. So perhaps as we're inhaling and exhaling, just thinking that we could draw our senses to center. Use our senses more for the inner body. And as I'm doing that, I just want to make sure that I release the hips heavy, allow them to ground and to really feel present in the lower body. As I do that, I might exhale, release the tongue heavy away from the teeth. And then I am going to reach up on an inhale and just make sure I'm lifting that lower rib cage up away from the pelvis and creating space through the belly. Lifting and opening that heart, and then I'll let the arms settle down and find a comfortable place to rest so that my heart stays open, my spine stays centered, my hips stay heavy. I'm going to close the eyes here and really work that inward awareness. Let go of the outer world. Just get grounded in this pose, in this moment. Each time I inhale, I'm thinking of taking a step closer to that spinal column, that center vertical axis, and gathering my energy around there. And each time I exhale, I'm envisioning myself just letting go of the outer world, relaxing my shoulder blades down, relaxing my tongue, relaxing the hips heavy. Just take a moment to really find the simplicity and the beauty of just being in this moment, in your body. And focus the mind on the breath, bringing the breath into balance. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Notice how the pauses in between the inhales and exhales are a moment of quiet. And allow that to lengthen. Mind naturally very quiet as we're pausing in the breath cycle. As I'm breathing here, I want to make sure that the whole torso is expanding three-dimensionally with a diaphragmatic breath as I breathe in. And that I'm softening and moving my awareness inward and toward my roots as I exhale. So let's start with just some gentle neck movements here. Just going to take the right ear toward the right shoulder. As I breathe, I might lengthen up through the spine and the crown of the head. As I breathe out, I might drop that left shoulder and elongate the left side of the neck more. As you do this, try not to slump down in the spine. Keep it tall and elongated. Keep the hips heavy. Just work into the right spot for you. Moving slowly. Enjoying the simplicity and the stillness of each quiet moment. And then slowly bring it back to center. Make sure we neutralize, and then we'll go the other way. Releasing the left ear toward the left shoulder. As I inhale, I'm going to make sure I'm not slumping in the spine. I'm going to draw up and lengthen through the crown of the head. As I exhale, I'm going to drop the shoulder, release the ear, feel the neck open up on the side. Moving slowly with simplicity and stillness. Noticing what comes up for us, what we feel, what we sense, but no judgment. Just breathing into it. And slowly coming back to center. This time, let's take the chin up and elongate and open the front of the neck and the throat. Again, moving slowly. Keeping that spine centered. Exhaling the chin to the sternum, the head heavy, and letting the exhales draw the head down and lengthen the back of the neck now. Again, resist any urge to kind of slump down or melt into the spinal column. Stay nice and tall. Keep that energy flowing so it comes up through the back of the neck and lengthens it. And inhale, bring your head back to neutral. And really find neutral since we've taken the neck out of alignment laterally and forward and back. Now see if we can find center a little more accurately. Optimize it. And just exhale, heavy hips, hands to the hips. Feel your femur sink down to the rear of the hip. Feel your legs heavy. And one more time, just setting the intention that we're going to be grounded in the body. That will notice what sensations occur, but we'll just notice them and bring them into our awareness without judgment. And then we'll find the simplicity and stillness. Good. So let's take the legs out in front of us now. And if you want to give them a little shake or massage, if you were getting tight along that outer IT band. Okay, and we're going to come into Dandasana. So I'm going to pull my feet back toward me and then press out through the three corners of the foot. And that's really going to bring the backs of the knees and the legs to press firmly into the floor. I want to be grounded there. I'm going to bring the hands under the shoulders. Move the sacrum toward the belly. Press down into my pointer finger and thumb. Keep the upper arm working toward my back body so my heart is open. Looking straight ahead, we're going to take a breath here. Find neutral, center that spinal axis. Play with that alignment for a couple of breaths. And then without disturbing my grounding of my legs or my spine, I'm just going to bend the right knee, bring it up closer to me, hook the foot, and come into this 90-degree bend. So it's like I'm trying to draw the knee toward the armpit here, using my arms to do so, keeping the elbows bent so the chest stays open, and just breathing into a deep groin, opening up that hip with my breath. No judgment, just what do we feel? What could we soften or let go of as we exhale? And then we're going to slowly straighten this leg. So if the arms don't reach, we can bring the hands down as we straighten. Just want to really think about pressing from the inner groin and elongating the leg to press the foot away from me. Straightening that knee, keeping the left leg grounded and rooted, keeping the spine tall, the heart open, working to the place that's right for you, and then settling into the simplicity of the moment, just breathing, what comes up, what do we sense, what can we let go of. And then we'll release this, and let's bring the foot to the thigh so that we're opening this hip and external rotation now. You might need to adjust the sitting bones there and reground the leg, the foot. And I'm just going to walk out. So my sitting bones are my anchor here. This is going to stretch the piriformis muscle and across the glutes. And I'm just going to go to the spot that's right for me. We're just warming up, so I'm not going to go too far, but I am going to elongate through the crown of the head and keep those sitting bones anchored. Keep this foot flexed, the arch engaged with the toes back so that the hip joint is protected and active. And I'm going to walk my hands back in. I'm going to see if I can slide the leg over and stack the knees and come into half cow face. And I just want to try to wiggle this heel close to the hip. And then again, I'm going to walk out. I'm not going to go too far. Warming up, keeping that straight leg grounded, keeping those sitting bones to the earth. So we're really stretching across and broadening the glute. We can also elongate the spinal axis here. Keep the heart open. Press both heels into the earth as you exhale to root. Be heavy in the hips, but long and open through the spine. And I'm going to do one more breath here. And then I'm going to walk the hands in slowly, come up, and take both legs back out to Dandasana. And give them a shake. If that feels good, give them a massage. Resume our neutral position, ground the legs, bring the sacrum toward the belly, press down into the pointer finger thumb, work the upper arms back. And then we'll bend the left knee and we'll go through that series on the other side. So as I bring the foot in, I try to stay back and neutral through the spine, so I'm not disturbing the rest of my pose. I'm going to keep Dandasana as much as possible. And just bring that left knee into a bent position. Draw the knee toward the armpit, deep in the groin, and breathe into it. What do we feel? What do we sense? Do we lose our grounding as we do this? Do we feel that the breath gets caught or stopped? What can we pick up here as we watch and listen? And then we're going to start to straighten. And I really want to work this from the groin, from the inner thigh, and elongate to press the heel away from me. I don't want to go too far. I'm going to slide the hands if I need to. And just breathing into, what do you feel? What are you sensing? Find the simplicity of it. If we sense something or tight, hard, we exhale. And we soften it. Keep the mind quiet. Not allow the mind to become reactive. Just open-hearted awareness, no judgment. Breathing, staying connected to the moment through the breath. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to release this. I'm going to bring the ankle to just above the knee. I'm going to reaffirm those sitting bones if I need to, open and broaden them on a diagonal. Sitting bones stay anchored. And I'm going to get that stretch across the glutes and the outer hip. Keep that right leg grounded, right heel grounded, toes pointing up. Elongate the spine, stay heavy in the hips. Breathing in, breathing out. Not going too far, we're just warming up. It's finding the right place where we start to feel sensations and sense them, but we can still exhale and soften it. We'll walk it in, and we'll slide the leg over further. So coming into a half cow face, we want to try to stack the knees. We want to try to bring the heel close to the outer glute here as we can. Then drop nice and tall and walk this out, going only as far as we can go. With the heels pressing down, the hips heavy, the sitting bones anchored. Elongate the spine through that vertical axis. Take that awareness inward to the spine, inner senses, and elongate. The tongue heavy and soft, the throat open. One more breath here. And then walk it back in. Release that leg. Both legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake, a little massage. And then we're going to tuck the feet behind us and come. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Create some space between them. Root the knuckles in the wrist evenly. Curl the toes. Inhale, bring the spine toward the front body, the belly heavy, elongate the back of the neck, look out at the floor in front of you. Exhale, release the tops of the feet, pull the belly button up and in, press the floor away. 2 more times at your own pace. Let that belly be heavy. Feel the arch in your foot. Curve the back of the neck and the cervical vertebrae when you come into cow. And then go to the reverse sensation. Feel the tailbone pointing down, feel the belly lifting. And then come back to neutral. And let's take those hips back. Stretch the sitting bones over the heels. Keep the hands planted and come into our first down dog. Lifting up nice and high on the toes. Working your cow cat here. Bending the knees, pressing the belly towards the thighs. Then straightening the legs, bringing the chin toward the sternum. Then lowering the heels, moving the head in line with the arms, keeping the belly lifted up and in. Bringing the spine to neutral. Chest and back equal and broad. Nice, smooth, even breath flowing here. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly lower the hips. Stack the shoulders over the hands. Come into plank. Push the floor away with strong arms. Elongate the heels behind you. Extend the neck and the crown of the head in front of you, looking down at the floor about a foot, 1.5 feet in front of you. And then toes stay curled, knees come down. Elbows stay in, melt the chest and chin. 8-point salutation. And then melt the whole body. Take a belly breath here. Focus those senses inward. Find the simplicity of the moment. Bring the feet in alignment with the sitting bones. Press those toes and the tops of the feet down into the earth. Press the hips down. Press the forearms down. Bring your elbow right under your shoulder. Your shins will lift away from the floor a bit if you've got a nice, strong, active leg. Your sacrum's heavy. Elongate the tricep from the back of the shoulder down into the elbows. Pin the pointer fingers and thumbs with your internal rotation of your forearms. Broaden those collarbones. Breathe. And then straighten the arms and come up higher. Keep the sacrum, hips heavy. Keep the legs active, strong, and rooted. Inhale, press the heart forward. Exhale, belly button towards your spine, down into the anchor of the sacrum and the legs. And slow release. Once again, stack your hands. Rest your head. Bring the back of the neck neutral. Breathe the belly to the floor. Expand into your breath. Let go of any tension as you breathe out. When you feel ready, plant your hands. Lots of space between the fingers, knuckles and wrist even. Stretch the hips back. Elongate the torso. Keep it long. Come up on your toes. Play with your downward dog here. Perhaps you go back to cow or cat. Perhaps you're going to bend one knee toward the center and pedal the heel and the pinky toe side of the foot toward the floor. Do what feels good to you. Stretch those hands open. Push the floor away. Get the belly to come up and in. Nice and long. Heads relaxed. And then let's straighten it out to plank again. Hopefully we don't have to move those feet. If we've got a nice stance for down dog, we should be able to go right into plank. I'm going to elongate the inner heels away from me. Push the floor away. Bring the belly button to the back. Find a lot of stability in the structure of your plank. And then let's roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. So we can scissor the foot, or we can stack. And let's take it to side plank. Push down, push the floor away. Turn your gaze, look up, breathe into your side body. Come back to center. Rest the knees. If you need that break, take it. And then roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Put the shoulder right over the wrist. Press down, push the floor away. Reach up. Come back to center. And 8-point salutation. The toes are curled. There's an arch in the foot. Release the chest and chin. Let the whole body melt down. Return to the breath. Return to the body. Ground into the moment. This time, let's take the arms alongside us, palms facing up. I'm going to keep pressing into the feet. Keep the legs active, the sacrum heavy. And on my inhale, I'm going to be drawn up from the backs of the arms. Elongate through the crown of the head. So press my palms toward each other. Let my heart sink heavy toward the back. Salabhasana. And then I'm going to exhale. Once again, return the head to the stacked hands. Let the cervical vertebrae soften. Breathe. When you're ready to transition, you're going to plant the hands, take it back to downward facing dog. Third time's a charm. Hopefully we're going to find our optimal alignment here. Remember, the upper arms externally rotate, the forearms internally rotate. That brings the bones into alignment. The armpit should feel hollow. Keeping the chest open and allowing that energy to flow up the arms along the torso and the side body, and helping you to deepen back into your groins, elongate and deepen the psoas, and move energy then down into the heels, moving the heels toward the earth. They don't have to reach it, but we want to work that energetically. Bring the feet together at center and really strongly root at the hands, but extend the right inner heel to the sky behind us. Breathe into that expansion. Opposite heel toward the floor. And then step forward, toes coming up in line with fingertips. We're going to come into a low lunge. I'm going to release the back knee and slide it away from me. So I'm elongating the psoas over here. And if you need to take some cushion under the knee, grab a blanket or something. But the more we can slide the foot back and take the weight out of the knee and actually more into the quadricep, right, then we should be more comfortable. And as we come up, I just want to let the hips get heavy. I've been talking about that a lot today. I want the hips to release. I'm going to hook my thumb into the groin, exhale. Into the weight of the hips, get grounded there. And then inhale and lift that lower rib cage away from the pelvis, create some space for my breath, and my spine. Work those upper arms back, the heart open. Relax the arms heavy to release any tension from the shoulders. Let the tongue be heavy. Let the throat open and soften. Sensing without judgment. Finding the simplicity in the moment. If you want to take this further, you're feeling okay with the hips, inhale and reach up and lift that heart, root to rise. Press the spine and heart forward as you reach back gently. Exhale into the back foot. Let the hips be heavy. One more breath here. And exhale. Your palms will come down. Frame the foot. You'll curl the back toes and extend to lift that knee. And then you'll go back to down dog. Spread the fingers wide. Push the floor away. Get that action in the arms and the musculature so that the bones come into alignment. And find your neutral breath here. Bring the feet together at center. Keep the hands rooted and extend the left inner heel to the sky behind you. Keep working the right heel toward the floor. Find that expansion, breathe, and then carry that expansion forward, stepping the toes up in line with the fingertips. Releasing the right knee, sliding the foot away from you, bringing the weight into the quadricep rather than on the kneecap. Coming up slowly, sinking into heavy hips. Opening the heart, relaxing the arms heavy so the shoulder blades slide down. Letting the tongue be heavy, the throat soft and open. Settle into yourself, settle into the simplicity of the moment. We sense sensations, we soften them, or we release them. Inhale, and take the arms up if you want to deepen this a little bit more. Lift that lower rib cage away from the pelvis. Elongate the belly. Press the heart forward and up as you reach back. Exhale into the bottom foot and let the hips get heavy. And exhale, palms frame the foot, curl the back toes, extend, and then step back. Downward facing dog. Play with cow or tap or go right into your down dog. It's feeling good. The thighs work an internal rotation. The thigh muscles are spiraling toward the midline. Broaden your sitting bones. The calf muscles, back of the leg there, are in an external rotation, moving the pinky toe side of the foot and the heel toward the mat. Head's relaxed, spine is long, chest and back equal. Breathing in, breathing out. Extend the shoulders over the hands, straighten into your plank as the hips slowly lower. Push the floor away. Activate the core. Find the structure and stability. Let's come on to the right side foot there, pinky toe side. Can scissor the feet or stack. You can always go back to the last progression if it becomes too much. Let's slide the left foot up as though we're doing a tree. Press that foot into the thigh, press the floor away, reach your gaze up, and come back to center. Rest the knees if you need that little breather. Take that moment. Reestablish your plank. Roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Scissor the feet there. Or stack the feet there, or bring my foot up into the inner thighs that we're doing tree. Press down, rise up, extend out. And come back to center. Knees come down, and then we melt the spine, 8-point salutation. And then we melt the whole body. Stack the hands, make a place for the head to rest. Keep the spine in alignment. Breathe belly to the mat. Feel the breath incoming, expand you. Take your senses, your awareness inward. Feel the breath outgoing. Releasing tension. All right, after the feet will press down, hips will stay heavy. I'm going to reach the arms back. And I want to lift with the backs of the arms and the back body. I'm going to keep the lower body rooted. We're going to come into another salabhasana. This time, I'm going to interlace the fingers at the low back. And I'm going to press my hands away from my strong, active arms so that the heart comes up. I lengthen through the crown of the head. I exhale into the hips and the feet. And I melt the heart toward the mat. So even though I'm elongating, pressing the hands away from me, the crown of the head forward, the heart is relaxing. The back body's doing the work. The legs are anchoring, stabilizing, and the heart just relaxes. The heart melts. The cervical vertebrae stay in a nice soft alignment, don't harden them. One more breath. And exhale, melt yourself down. Drop the hands, return to your breath. Let's plant the hands, spread the Finger fly, take it back to downward facing dog. One more time. Find that long torso and spine. Get the sitting bones high. Get the belly to pull up and in and breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. Walk the hands and feet together. Slowly feel that weight shift out of down dog and more into our fold, our hang, Uttanasana position. I'm going to make sure I've got the inner ball mount, outer ball mount, center of the heel rooted. I'm going to bend the knees, hold the elbows hang. It's incredibly heavy. Look at my thighs. I sink the groins and sitting bones. Cloak me, drape over me, soft and heavy. Returning to my roots. The simplicity of the moment. The simplicity of just being in your body. Everything doesn't have to be so hard. Just come back to the body. I'm going to release the elbows. I'm going to press my hands into the floor, but you could bring them to the tops of the feet or the shins. And I'm going to slowly straighten, pressing down inner and outer ball mount, center of the heel, rooting those points so that the arch lifts, moves the femurs to the hamstrings. Belly pulls up and in. The sitting bones broaden, and I extend through the crown of my head out in front of me, chest parallel to the mat. Find the framework. Find that energy flow from the roots flowing upward and then out through the spine. And just breathe into it. Breathe into this moment. And then let's keep the legs straight. Take the hands back to the hamstrings or the calves. Take the chin towards the sternum and draw the chest toward the legs. Just go into this moment that works for you. Keep pressing down into the feet. Moving the femurs into the backs of the legs so you can feel that action pressing into your arms. Next inhale, we're going to reach out wide, come up through our center, and reach to the sky. Exhale, we'll release the arms. We're going to come to the front edge of our mat in our mountain pose. And take a moment there to establish neutral. Shifting the weight, spreading and fanning the toes until I feel equal and even across both feet. That both feet are carrying and supporting the weight of my upper body equally. Excuse me. I want to neutralize any tilt to the pelvis. Sometimes we have a forward or a backward tilt. Make sure that we put the right and left hands on the hip bones there and just get them balanced. From the waist down, I exhale into the feet and solidify my roots. From the waist up, I inhale from the pelvic floor up through that vertical axis of the spine, that inner spine. Crown of the head and the sun to the stars. Be humble, for you are made of earth. That's the roots. But also We're made of stars. Inhale. Press the hands together and remember to bring the right and left sides together and to integrate at that inner vertical axis again. Sense that with the inner senses. And stay true to your roots here, but inhale, take it up. Lift the lower rib cage. Elongate, reach back. Exhale, bend the knees, pull the elbows, hang, return to your roots. Press the hands into the floor, the feet or the shins, straighten the legs, extend the spine. Draw the arms behind the legs, draw the chest toward the legs, chin towards sternum. Inhale, reach out wide, come all the way up. Lift the heart, reach back. Exhale, arms releasing down, hands come back to center, returning to mountain. Again, inhaling, taking it up, we're opening the front body. Stay true to your ribs, reach back. Exhaling, we're hanging. Press down into the feet, straighten the legs, extend the spine as you press the hands into something, the floor or the tops of the feet. Draw yourself toward the legs into the fold. Bend the knees, reach the arms and hips back and the chest forward, finding your balance point at center. Pull the belly button to the back, sweep the arms in line with the ears, powerful pose. Hug the head of the humerus into the armpits, keeping the chest and back equal. Let the hips and groin sink down. Work the quadriceps and the core. Hands to hips. Step your left foot back. Warrior one. So I'm going to draw the left thigh toward the midline. Press the pinky toe side of the left foot into the floor as I bend the right knee over the ankle. I'm going to draw the hip pointers up. Don't let them tilt. Open the heart with cactus arms and reach up. Hug the heads of the humerus in. Exhale into the feet, into the foundation, strong roots. Inhale, reach for the stars. Lift your gaze. Bring the hands to the solar plexus. Let's slowly take this toward warrior three. Very small to start with. As I extend the energy of the solar plexus out, come onto the ball of the back foot. Still press the heel away from me. Bend the knee deeply. Drag the toes. And then return. And then I try it again. Slowly but surely, I'm staying in my center. I'm directing the energy of the center out in front of me. Dragging the toes. And then return. One more time. See how far we can extend and take that warrior three. Still staying in our center. And releasing. And bring the hands to the hips. Use the core and the strength of the hip to pull the back foot forward. Come back to mountain. Settle the feet. Establish the roots. Then work your awareness upward. Melt the heart. Relax the arms heavy. Find the balance in your breath. Bring the right and left sides together. Inhale, take it to the sky. Lift the heart. Exhale, hang. Press down into the hands and the feet. Straighten the legs, extend the spine. Draw your chest closer to your legs. Then the knees, the sitting bones and arms extend back, the chest forward, find your center, powerful pose. Hands to hips, drive the left foot back with the power of the hip into warrior one. So I'm drawing left thigh toward internal rotation, pressing the femur of the back leg to root the heel, toe side of the foot, bend the front knee, open the heart, reach high. Find your breath, find your equilibrium, find the simplicity of just being grounded in your body and how we can balance that out with also being open to the heart spine. Bring the hands to the solar plexus. Stay in your center. Start to extend that energy forward. Drag the toes just a little bit. And then back to warrior one stance. We're working slowly. We're seeing what can we pick up here along the way. How slowly can we shift that weight? How much can I press down as I drag the toes? Right, and I'm going to do it one more time and really try to extend out on this last one into a full warrior three. Establishing the center. And then back to warrior one. Good work. Hands and hips, pull that back foot forward. Shake out any tension. Let's take mountain in the center of our mat now. Okay, set the feet, settle the weight evenly into them. Open the heart. Relax the arms and shoulder blades down. Let the crown of the head ascend. Hands come together, bringing the right and left sides together. And then let's extend out and take the feet out, not quite as wide as we would for triangle, not to the wrist, but more like 2.5, 3 feet here. And then turn the toes out about 45 degrees. We're going to come into goddess. I want to anchor into the 3 points of the foot. Keep the arch lifted and supportive. And sink the sitting bones down, asking the inner thighs to lengthen. So just a slow sinking, right? Heavy hips. Let the heaviness of the hips work for you here, right? Let the weight and grounding and gravity of the lower body be a gift. These thighs have to lengthen, come around. The sitting bones have to sink down. I'm gonna bring my hands here. And I'm just gonna kind of turn and look chin over that left shoulder. And I'm gonna go the other way. So I'm using my hands to kind of open those thighs more, deepen the sitting bones more, and turn my gaze. Let me do that 2 more times. Use the hands to pull the thighs toward the back body, sink down. Other way. Good, one more time each side. And last one. And straightening is gonna feel good. And walk those feet in and shake it out a little bit. Let go of any tension or gripping, tightness. Settle the weight across the feet evenly. Bringing those hands together. We're going to extend out, take it all the way out underneath the wrist. Work into our triangle here. I'm going to open from the right hip, pivot, turn on the heel. Back foot's going to anchor about half that. Line from center of heel through the arch, straight line. Anchor down into the foot, straighten and deepen here. I'm going to reach over and get my head and shoulder aligned over the right leg. Draw the buttock under, revolve here toward the ceiling, and find the right triangle for me. I'm going to bend the back knee and then straighten it so the femur moves back and helps me root into the back of this pose. And then I'm going to reach overhead and open up the side. And then I'm going to reach behind and make a big circle. As I point back, anchor into the back foot. Bring it around, do it one more time. And then I'm going to go straight up. Turn my gaze slowly. Breathe into the side body. Inhale, draw yourself up. Beautiful. Let's take it to the other side. Feet can come back to center, and then I really initiate the action with the left hip. Open that inner thigh, pivot on the heel. Back foot, about half that turn of the right foot. Establish a line from inner center of heel to center of arch. Activate Pada Bandha, pressing into the three parts of the foot. Deepen the groin, extend over slowly. Keep everything lined up. Keep the core working strong. My buttocks coming under. My floating ribs are pressing back. I'm revolving here. I'm going to bend the back knee, straighten, pull that hip back. Reaching up, out over the head, open that thigh. Then reaching back behind you, heart lifting to the sky. Point and put energy in the back foot. And bring it around. And then take it straight up. Turn your gaze. Breathe into the side. Inhale and draw yourself up. Oh, beautiful work. Heel toe, heel toe. Bring it back into mountain. Let's take a moment there. Getting back to neutral, getting back to stillness, back to simplicity. Heavy hips, rooted lower body. Lends itself to an expansive heart. An elongated spine. Quiet mind. Let's take more weight in the right foot. Bend the left knee. Stay centered and broad here and turn the knee out. Rest your heel on your ankle. So I'm trying to resist any urge to come out of my mountain pose, just moving this leg out into the tree position. And if I can then pull the foot up without losing my mountain pose, without torquing or twisting, then I'll do that. I'm going to resist the foot and the thigh, pull the knee back, and keep this broad. I'm connecting the outer right hip down into the inner edge of the big toe of the standing leg. I'm working the legs actively. My heart is open. And then if my roots are strong, I'm going to reach up and elongate through the spine, through that inner vertical axis, but stay rooted through the lower body. I might take the arms wider and just feel the heart open, feel it a little softer around the shoulders and neck. And then we'll let the hand on the side of the bent knee come down and reach up higher through the right arm and open the side body. If you feel comfortable slowly turning your gaze, do so. And then release. Back to mountain. If you need to shake out any tension, do so. If you notice you were clenching the toes or grasping really tightly with them, just soften them, release them wide. Know that the toes are not the best place to balance with, as I've learned. Why are my toes working so hard? Oh no, because this needs to be working harder. Let more weight come into the left side. Bend the right knee and bring it out to the side. Rest that heel. Stay nice and broad here. Ask the thigh and hip to open. And your focus point. Down strong roots. If you feel like you'd like to pull the foot up, then do so. But it's fine to practice with the toes on the floor as well. Perhaps more enlightening or beneficial sometimes to keep the toes on the floor. Resisting the foot and the inner thigh against each other, pulling that knee back, keeping the belly and the pelvis broad. Right and left sides come together at center as I press my hands together there. Strong roots, reach up. Heaviness of the lower body, the strength of the root system lets us rise through the upper body. Reach the arms wider. Feel how that changes things, opens the heart, softens the neck. And then the arm comes down alongside the bent knee, lifted, other arm reaches higher. Breathe into your side. Turn your gaze slowly if you like. And release. Nice work. Let go of any tension. Come back to mountain for a breath. I am right here, right now, and enjoying the simplicity, being grounded in my body and my current experience. Come down onto the floor to finish off. I'm going to come back to that Dandasana pose that we were at earlier today. And as you do, straighten those legs out in front of you. After all that work that they did in those big standing poses, you might want to give them a shake or a massage and just release any tension. All right, so we're going to work on that cow face again that we did earlier. And now that we've kind of worked to warm up those hips a lot, we'll see if we can take it out a little deeper. So we'll start at Dandasana. Move the sacrum toward the belly, pull the toes back, ground the heels. Root down into the pointer finger thumb. Take a full deep breath. And then I'm going to bend the right knee. And I'm going to bring it over and try to stack. So as I do this, I do wiggle a little bit to get the best alignment. And to try to pull the heel closer to the hip, but certainly the heel can stay wider, and that's how we can adjust how much action we're having in the hips and this external rotation. Okay, so now if you were feeling okay with half cow face, you can drop tall here, press the heels down. Then you might want to try a full. We'll bend the bottom knee and bring that heel back toward the outer hip as well. So again, a lot of wiggling here as I try to adjust those sitting bones into the floor, into the mat. Press my feet down and then drop nice and tall. Heavy in the hips, right? That's been the mantra all day. Just let the hips be heavy. And don't grip up or tense up against them. Just get into the simplicity of heavy hips being connected to the earth. And when that's established and when we accept that, then we can draw up nice and tall. And we could open the chest even more with our cow face arms. So we might take that right arm up and tuck the left elbow in to the back, and then try to reach the hands together without dropping that neck or head forward. Remember, if you have a strap or something at home, you could hold the strap in the right arm and then grab the strap with the bottom hand. But try not to tense up through the shoulders or take the head or neck forward. That will undo what we want to do with opening the chest and elongating the tricep. So as I inhale here, I try to lift the top elbow higher and open the chest and tricep and the heart. And as I exhale into the heavy hips, the simplicity of just being grounded in the lower body. Breath is flowing. One more breath here. And then a slow release. Nice. As I let the hands come down, I'm going to bring the top knee up and hug it in and come into a twist here. So I've got my heel rooted, and I'm going to draw the chest and the leg closer, and I'm going to start to turn toward that right foot. So this is less twist, right? If I'm holding here, I just want to open up my chest and say turn. If you want more twist, you can anchor here and bring that arm around. I'm going to drop nice and tall through that inner vertical spinal axis. I'm going to exhale, open the heart as I turn, but don't strain with the head or neck. Keep the lower body heavy as you exhale. One more breath here. And exhale. I'm going to turn back to center. Extend the legs back out. Give them a shake. Give them a massage. Find Dandasana, find neutral. Take a breath there. And then I'm going to work this from the other side. So I'm going to stack the left knee over the right. Pull the heel into a place where I can ground it. That's close to the hip. But it doesn't have to be right next door. Ground down into the sitting bones, but rise up through that inner vertical axis, and then decide, is this enough, or do I want to try to go into the full cow face? I would bend the bottom knee. Yeah, it's not cooperating with me, and pull that foot back. So it is some wiggling here, perhaps, as we try to adjust the sitting bones to anchor, get the buttocks flush out of the way, get the heels into the right position for us, depending on how our hips feel. I'm a person who has trouble grounding, so I just take the hands and press the heels down, and then also remind myself to get heavy at the hips, and then draw up nice and tall through the spine. Open that heart, let the breath flow freely, and then we can add our cow face arms and open the heart. Maybe just taking the arm up is enough for you, right? And tucking this elbow in. You could just stay here and keep the head in alignment, or you can try to work it deeper and reach the hands together, or use a strap to accommodate. All about the breath then, wherever you end up. The inhale, rising up through that elbow, lengthening that tricep and opening that heart. And the exhale, sinking down into heavy hips, pressing the heels, the feet to the floor. Being right here, right now. One more breath. And then that slow release. Let's take the top foot, bring top knee up, bring the foot to the floor and hug. Right? I'm going to hug, press the spine and the legs together and elongate. And start to turn. Remember, this is less twist. If I want to take the arm, that's going to give me more leverage. I could open up or do something like that. So play with what's best for you. No need to strain with the head or neck, just opening the chest, broadening the heart, keeping that breath flowing, keeping that lower body heavy. And then exhaling and coming back to center. I'm going to shake it out one more time. Here, if you come into your Dandasana, if you want to do a little fold, maybe, and start to quiet the mind here, maybe a nice idea to just keep those sitting bones planted, extend out and then around, keep the legs rooted, keep the femurs moving into the rear of the legs, into the mat, let your back body broaden. Tuning into your breath. Let your back body cloak you, cover you, protect you, blanket you. Let your mind get quiet. Enjoy the simplicity of being in your body. Thank the body for the hard work that it has done as we've practiced. Be grateful that it can do that work. And then come up slowly. We could take a minute or two here to do any last pose you'd like to do before our Shavasana. You want to go back to down dog or child's pose, or do another hip opener. Really work those hips. They should be pretty soft and easy to work into something nice. That would feel good to you. But this is an important time. So knowing what you need to round out your practice and to be ready for a nice restorative. It's often helpful to bring the spine back to neutral at least one time before we go into Shavasana. We want it to be neutral. So you can never go wrong with down dog. All right, so finishing up and getting any props or blanket you might want. Prepare to lie back. Take your time as you recline. Arrange the back body carefully as though you're making your bed and don't want anything to disturb you. You know, you smooth the sheet, right? Smooth the back body. Set the sacrum and the shoulder blades down, smooth it in neutral. And work to extend the arms and legs out away from that neutral without losing it. So we've got a nice base, rounded back body, but we also have a nice feeling of length to the limbs and the spine. Let your hips be really heavy again. Having a simplicity in that. We could just be grounded. Femurs into hips. And hips heavy, but soft, right? Not tight, not gripping, not holding, not resisting against, but just letting the hips be accepting. Heavy and acceptance. Couple of long exhales here, letting go of wherever you're feeling discomfort, tension, resistance. Letting the body feel heavier each time we exhale. Letting the tongue get heavy, the throat soft as we exhale. Letting the palms of the hands get warm and soft as we exhale. Letting the back of the heart get warm and soft and release as we exhale. Letting the skin between the eyebrows get warm and soft as we exhale. Letting the skin of the forehead soften and broaden. Feel the skin of the scalp and the hair release away from the face. Feel the temple skin melt down toward the ears. Bring your senses inward, eyes into their sockets. Toward the soft palate, throat, eardrums, spiraling, releasing down toward the throat. Enter your inner body and let it be your sanctuary. Let the release of the tongue and the throat carry your awareness down to your deepest center, somewhere behind the belly button. Deep within, where everything is simple. You breathe. You let go. Everything is simple. Allow your next inhale to deepen, become more conscious. You start to slowly move awareness out from center. Bring feeling and movement to the fingertips and the toes, hands and feet, the wrists, the ankles. Stretch and move at a pace and in a way that honors your experience. As you come back slowly, taking your time. Left and right side, and take a moment there, symbolizing this renewal after Shavasana. Come back, restore. Press ourselves up. Find a comfortable seated position to close class together. Let those hips be heavy again. Find the simplicity in that. Center the inner awareness. Center the spine. Connect to the earth with the fingertips. And then inhale. Reach up and expand into the heavens. Lift that heart. Exhale. Palms together. Heart open. Inhale. Lifts the heart. Exhale. Bows the head. Let the head and heart meet through your breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, sinking. A great honor and a pleasure to share your practice with you. I hope that your practice is a source of peace and contentment, and that you can carry it with you off your mat and out into your day. Namaste.